We are tracking the tropics in this Local 10 halftime report. Good afternoon, South Florida. I'm Alex Finney. And before we begin, it's really important for us to note that you will not be missing a moment of this football game. But really important here, you're taking a live look now at Tropical Storm Ian's path. Florida is in the eye of this cone. Forecasters predicting by the time the storm approaches, it could become a Category 3 hurricane. And we have live team coverage as Ian continues to move through the Caribbean there. Certified meteorologist Brandon Orr is starting us off with everything you need to know. Brandon.
Yep, let's start with this latest advisory that we have in, which is from 11 a.m. Maximum sustained winds at 45 miles per hour. We're waiting on the new advisory to come out in the next 20 minutes. They're not going to update the track with this one, but they will update the position of the storm and also the intensity. But from what I've been seeing on satellite, I don't think that's going to change all that much. I have seen some changes in the structure of the storm, though. Look on the edges of this. See how it's kind of feathery sticking out? That's signs that you could say that the storm is breathing a little bit better than what it was earlier this morning. Hurricane hunters, they have a new plane just now going into the middle of this, and they're finding wind speeds pretty similar to that 11 a.m. advisory. So if it did strengthen, I don't think it's been strengthening all that much. Strong wind shear has been tearing apart some of the thunderstorms. It's finally starting to push out of those unfavorable conditions. So I think everything is getting set up that late tonight, and especially during the day on Sunday, we're going to start seeing some strengthening of this, and it could be rapid intensification going into Monday, especially right through the Cayman Islands. Hurricane Center brings this up to a Category 2 storm and eventually Category 3 status. Max winds at 120 miles per hour as it approaches the Florida coastline. We just need to pin down exactly where this is going. Check out the change in our computer models into this afternoon. A lot of them focusing on the west half of this cone, which would bring most of the worst conditions to northern Florida. We would still likely get at least some heavy rain and possible tropical storm conditions, but just as easy as this shifted to the west side of the cone, this could still shift back to the east. So we have to watch this one closely. Let's bring in certified meteorologist Jordan Patrick. Jordan, we still got some time to pin this one down, but I'm hopeful by the end of the weekend we could start fine-tuning some of those details in terms of what impacts we could see here in South Florida.
Yeah, and I really think how fast this intensifies and how much it intensifies will really give us a good indicator of where this is going to go over the next 24 to 36 hours. One of the biggest fuels for this fire is all of these really anomalously warm waters over the Caribbean Sea and even southern Gulf of Mexico this morning. That's why we do anticipate Ian to become a major Category 3 hurricane as we enter into early next week, because there is so much fuel for the system to suck up and really start to get going. Now, as this system intensifies, it is going to start interacting with a dip in the jet stream early next week. How strong this system gets is really going to dictate how quickly it starts turning more towards the north as it interacts with this dip in the jet. Now, that is associated with a frontal boundary at the surface, and as Ian moves towards the north, this cold front is going to move down towards the south. Now, the thinking is that Ian is going to connect with this cold front early next week, somewhere over the state of Florida, then ride that cold front up towards the Atlantic waters. Now, where exactly that ends up is going to really dictate where the center of circulation is going to go. Regardless, notice on our graphic right now, a lot of rainfall is expected with this system as we have Ian and a cold front bringing moisture into the state of Florida. So because of that, our current thinking is about 4 to 6 inches of rainfall across a lot of places, some places even more than 8 inches of rainfall. Obviously, this is subject to change as we get more fine-tuned details on where we expect this system to be moving. As far as the wind is concerned, we really can't pinpoint because we don't have a center of circulation really honed in on where it exactly is going to be going over the next few days, but we will be increasing those wind speeds as well early next week.